How you doing, everyone? And welcome to this episode of the Isaac Hayes Show, talking about life, talking about liberty, and yes, talking about the pursuit of happiness and showing everyone in this world that Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a great day wherever you're located. Have you ever talked to somebody and they kept on telling you, listen, I know that I have issues. I just need to do something different. And you propose to them to do something different. And they say, oh, no, we're not going to, no, I don't want to do that. But they're always continually griping and complaining about their situation they're in. Now, you told them what you could do or what they could do to get out of that mess. But they keep on doing it. This is how I feel about Louisiana right now. Louisiana, this past weekend, had a special election. Now, we have elections every so often. And the way that our Constitution works, our state Constitution, to amend it, you have to have the votes. You have to have over 50% of the votes to agree with it or disagree with it, whatever, yes or no, if you want to change the amendment. And for the last several years, the Republicans have been handicapped because they can't change the state constitution. And under Jeff Landry, who has a lot of good ideas for the state of Louisiana, is handicapped because of this situation. Now, there is talks of a constitution convention. One happened several years ago, I think on the Howard P. Long, and this is how we're under the issues we are now. But Jeff Landry really wants to do stuff, and he has to go through these amendments. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this. We see here in Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, even Mississippi. Look, Mississippi made news where they went ahead and said they are cutting their income tax. They did it no problem. They voted it. Their legislation went through the whole process, and the governor signed the bill. Around our states, in other states, Arkansas, look what Sarah Huckabee Sanders has done in Arkansas. Greg Abbott in Texas have been doing great things, and Jeff Landry wants to do that. But we have a hiccup. We have a handicap, and that is the amendment stuff. And look, I understand you want to amend the Constitution, you want to help Louisiana, but this is why Jeff Landry cannot do what he wants to do. Well, and this is why I'm bringing this up. Louisiana had a chance to change it, but as you see on the screen, voters reject Landry Republican lawmakers' constitutional amendments. This is from PRIMETIME Media, which is the host site of the Isaac Hayes Show. You should go ahead and check it out. PRIMETIME Media has stories like this and several others. But according to PRIMETIME Media, the home of the Isaac Hayes Show, in a stunning blowout at the ballot box, Louisiana voters overwhelmingly reject all 4 constitutional amendments on March 29th ballot, delivering a sharp rebuke to Jeff Landry and the Republican-controlled legislators that backed him. So this was a whole Republican push. They wanted these 4 constitutional amendments. I went and vote last minute. I had a lot going on Saturday, March 29th, but I went and vote. And the only one I disagreed with was probably number 3. I voted no on that one. So I'm glad that one fell because I voted no on that one. But all the rest of them I thought was pretty good and would help the state of Louisiana. But going back to my example earlier, Louisiana is one of them states. You tell the people that, hey, you need to do this to make it better. You need to go ahead and do this, this, and this, and your life's going to be better. But we get the people that are griping and complaining. Oh, we want a better life. Oh, we want our state to be like Texas and Arkansas and Mississippi. But instead of Louisiana getting better, we always stay in the same rut. Why? Because, and look, I love my people in Louisiana. I hope you do not take this offensive, but I hope this lights a fire under you. If you're the one that's saying, oh, we need a better state. Oh, we need a better state. We need to do something better for the state of Louisiana. You should have voted in these amendments, except number 3. I didn't agree with number 3. But you should have voted in the amendments. Why? I disagreed with him. I think he would have been this. You listen to left-leaning outlets that told you certain things. Now, look, don't get me wrong. There were some things a lot of Republicans had concern with the bill. Maybe that's why they voted it down. But the thing of it is, you want change. You want something different. When Republicans say, hey, this will make our life better, you tell them no. No, we're not going to do that. Look, this is, I don't know what's up with Louisiana people, okay? Again, look, maybe I'm just vetting here. Maybe so. I don't know. But you have the Republicans saying, look, we need to do this to make us like Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi. And the voters keep saying the same thing, no. But want to gripe and complain. Nothing changes. Because you're voting or you're saying no to the people that want to make a change. This also goes to another point. This is why I think Louisiana is really a purple state. Oh, what you mean, Isaac? We're not a purple state. We're bright red. Yes, nationally we're bright red. We voted for Donald Trump 3 times, overwhelmingly, over 60%. Yes, we did elect Governor Jeff Landry, over 50%. He didn't have to face a runoff. A lot of people spoke and said, yes, we want the Republican Party to do something. But when the Republican Party calls for a constitutional convention, which we can do it now, I didn't agree with it with John Bell. But now we got a Republican-controlled Senate. We have a Republican-controlled legislation. They're going to legislation in a couple of weeks. Okay, we're going to be at the Capitol on Sunday praying for these men and women as they go into legislation. But we bring all these people in. I think we should have a constitutional convention. And guess what? We have people on the right say, no, I don't want to give a constitutional convention. But it's going to make Louisiana like Texas, Arkansas, and Mississippi. No, we're not doing it. No. They get offensive. Same thing with this, okay? We want Republicans to change things. Okay, you need to pass these amendments to make a change in Louisiana. No, we're not doing it. No, Louisiana keeps doing the same old, and they want a different result. And look, this article says it says it correctly. Overwhelmingly rejected all 4 constitutional amendments. It wasn't close. It was overwhelmingly. Over 60% on every constitutional convention. A constitutional amendment. Again, for all my people that are out of state that are watching this. Again, to change our state constitution, we have to amend it and it has to go through the voters. I agree letting the voters have their say. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that. But when you have the Republican governor and the Republican legislation say, look, we need to do this so we can push our agenda. And the people of Louisiana say no, this is why I say we're a purple state. Because we have a lot more left-leaning people in this state. Also, with these 4 constitutional amendments, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of left-leaning people. A lot of left-leaning organization push, no, we shouldn't do this. No, we shouldn't do that. And Louisiana people here in the state, I love you guys, but y'all don't pay attention. Okay? Look, I'm probably going to get some feedback from this. I'm probably going to get some hate email from it, but come on, you have to study. You just don't turn on your television and see the first commercial. Okay, and look, this is what's sad, okay? We have people right now, and look, there's running some polls that's saying that Bill Cassidy's in the lead to win his Senate seat coming in 2026. I come behind a microphone, and look, I know a lot of other podcasters that love Bill Cassidy. But I come behind this microphone and I tell you, hey, look, Bill Cassidy cannot be trusted. Not because of his votes. It's just he's flip-flopping. One minute he was for Donald Trump. 1 minute he was against Donald Trump. Now that Donald Trump's back in office, he's back with Donald Trump. He loves Donald Trump. Not to forget that he voted to impeach the man. And look, I had a whole debate on that. People saying, "Oh, you're mad that he impeached him?" If he thought it was right, he could have done that. Okay, I understand that point. But when you put a vote before and you say, "I don't think it's constitutional," but then go ahead and vote to impeach the man, our Constitution guides our way of life, the United States Constitution, and you say, "I don't think it's right that we impeaching this man, but I'm going to impeach him anyway," that shows me he's a double-minded man. That's why I don't vote for him, because apparently he don't stand up for the Constitution. Look, I never met Senator Cassidy. Senator Cassidy's listening to this and he wants to come on. Great. But people like myself, we study this and we tell you this. And instead of the people of Louisiana saying, "Look, we need to trust our Republican governor." Come on, y'all voted this man in. Overwhelmingly. You voted this man in. Now he's asking y'all to pass 4 Constitution amendments. Again, I didn't agree with number 3. But if you agree, okay, look, I can have, Isaac, you're saying to vote. No, 3 out of 4 you should have put. It would have helped Louisiana. But instead of helping Louisiana, you went ahead and said no. And this is what gets me upset about the state. And look, this ain't the first time I've come up and brought this issue out. Okay? In a little local town that's near me, they had people running for city council. And they said, "Look, we need this new vision. We need a new vision in this small town. We need to go ahead and do something different. We've been doing the same old for the last couple of years. It hasn't worked. We need to go ahead and stop doing the same old, and we need to change it." The old council came out and said, "No, we're doing good things. We need to keep the old in." And in the town, I heard the people in the town, "Man, we don't get nothing done. We don't have no tourism. We don't this, we don't that." And they're griping and complaining about everything. But the old people came in. I'm not talking about the old council members. "Please leave us in. We're going to make a change." And guess what the town did? They voted the old council members in. And now, today, nothing going on in this little town. We don't have no growth. We don't have this. They're griping and complaining. You cannot gripe and complain. You put in the same old members. I just don't understand that. You're griping and complaining, and you had the opportunity to do something new, and you didn't. And like I said, this is a pet peeve of mine. Especially here in Louisiana. I hear this all the time. I live in this state. And look, I know I have a national audience. I know that. I might have to make a separate video for you guys to air. But all my citizens of Louisiana, I love you guys. But don't come complaining. Don't come meet me in public and say, "Isaac, what's going on with Louisiana? I can't believe we're not getting nothing done." Look, okay, like right now, I'm very upset with the insurance issue. I work in the trucking industry. My dad owned his own company. I hear from my boss how insurance is outrageous for us truck drivers. And you know what? We're getting screwed. I'm sorry. Now, this next legislative session, I haven't reached out to none of my state rep friends or my contacts at the Capitol. But the word is, we're going to try. We're going to try to bring insurance down. But we don't know if we'll be able to. When half of them suckers ran on saying we're going to lower down the insurance prices, why didn't you do it? Why didn't you do it? But we hear this, going back to my point, I hear all the griping and complaining. "Oh, we ain't getting nothing done. Nothing is getting done." Well, you had the opportunity to get something done, especially with Amendment 2. Amendment 2 tackled a lot of income tax issues. Look, I'm hearing every Republican, conservative praise the state of Mississippi. Again, Mississippi went ahead and they passed a law that eliminated their income tax. They basically did with Texas. Remember, everybody says this, and this is all through the states. If you eliminate the state income tax, the state will not get funded. Texas does not have a state income tax. They're doing very well. Florida, under Ron DeSantis, hopefully continue their Republican control with Byron Donalds, who's running for governor there. They don't have state income tax. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was in the news the other day because he had an altercation with a cop and everything like that. But one of the reasons why Tyreek Hill went to Florida, he said this, I'm going to Florida because I don't want to pay state income tax. He went to Miami Dolphins. Players in the NFL tried to go to Florida. This is probably why Jacksonville still got tons of players, because people are playing, they're not getting state income tax. Florida does it, Texas does it, probably other states. Now Mississippi does it, and we we won't get funded. But Louisiana, you're stopping what we could do to eliminate our problems. Look, these 4 amendments wouldn't have cured all our problems, but it would have been a start. I know the voice of Louisiana, Moon Griffon, says it all the time. He hates that phrase, this is a step forward. But we've been told that so many times that I agree with him, but this really would have been a step forward. Governor Jeff Landry has a handicap. And look, at these 4 amendments, I'm going to be honest with you. This is why we need to call for a constitutional convention. Look, I know I got state reps that listen to me. I know I got people in the state Senate that listen to me. I've reached out to the governor's office. I know a contact there. Okay? They want to get stuff done. But to get something done, y'all need to push a constitutional convention. Yeah, but what about the left? They lost. Democrats lost. Okay, and look, and I will say this for the Democrats of the state. They do a real good job passing information. False, but they're good at passing information. The ads that were run against Amendment 2 alone was outstanding. And all the Republicans did was sit back. Now, that's what I would criticize the Republicans on. The Republicans were hoping for a low turnout. Jeff Landry was caught on a hot mic talking to Speaker Johnson about the turnout. He said probably 18%, and he was maybe 15%. It's benefit for them if it's a low turnout. No, it wasn't. The low turnout turned out to hurt us because, like me, I wish I showed up last minute to vote for my amendments. Again, I was busy on a Saturday. I understand that. There was no advertisement that I seen for these amendments to pass. The left, however, I was scrolling on this thing all the time, and I was seeing, don't vote for Amendment 2. Don't vote for Amendment 2. Don't vote for Amendment 2. They were constantly throwing ads at us saying, don't vote for Amendment 2. Amendment 2 helped restructure our tax code. And again, citizens of Louisiana, you should go ahead and pay attention. Because every ad that you see on television might not be correct. And look, I'm sorry I'm dogging my people of Louisiana. This bothers me for this state. I love this state. I want this state to go forward. But instead of doing something better, you go ahead and you overwhelmingly shoot down. Again, like I said, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not vote for Amendment 3. I was seeing some of our congressional members in the state house and state senate. They were saying, look, vote for all of them, vote for all of them. I read it. I couldn't agree with it. And I understand some of you might be saying, well, Isaac, we. So the ones that studied, let's say, I'm going to say this. The ones that studied, they said, look, we studied, we just can't agree with them. Great, look, I'll give you a pass. But for the person that is just flicking the television set or scrolling through Facebook and say, well, they say, wait a minute, they say we can't do this, we can't, man, I don't think we should, they're saying we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that. The TV's telling us this, the TV's telling us that, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. That's all I'm telling you to do is pay attention. Pay attention and make sure that you're, not going to say it. Make sure you're voting for the right thing. I don't want to hear one day, we could have voted for that, but man, it didn't work because you didn't pay attention. Well, why didn't they do this? Well, you didn't pay attention. And I'm sorry, I was caught off guard with something on my phone. But we need to go ahead We need to go ahead and make sure that when we vote yes or vote no, we're voting for the correct thing. And look, like I said, I'm not. I want to make sure all my citizens of Louisiana that are listening to this don't think that I'm dogging y'all because we didn't get what we wanted. I understand, but I'm just making that point. You need to pay attention. The amendment two should have passed, but no, unfortunately, we had we had people that listen to the left. Again, the left does a good job at that. So, but look, do better next time, guys. It's just you want change, you want something different, you have to vote for it. You have to vote for it, and I think this would have been the change that we needed here in Louisiana. But unfortunately, I would do want to show this while I have you guys on here. Go check out the new Cajun blend right here. My good friend Kelby Dago has put together a Cajun seasoning, and he sent me a snap soundbite of his ad with this. And look, he like he said, look, we all love Cajun seasonings, and Cajun blend. You need to go check them out. $6.99. They'll deliver wherever you're located at. Go check out the website CajunBlend.com. CajunBlend.com right here. And go tell Calby I sent you. Also, go check out Primetime Media. Again, look, while I'm here, just to show you guys, let's pull this up. Primetime Media. Look at this, guys. You can't. And look, I forgot about this. This giveaway. Guys. Look, we're giving away a tumbler and some headphones if we get the numbers up. But you need to put your name, your phone number, and all this stuff. Subscribe to the podcast. Look at the stories we have, guys. Look at the stories that are up here. We have politics. We have show. Look at all the shows. Go check out Kelby and Joe's show, Kelby Talks, and yours truly, the Isaac A Show. Look at my website, guys. Look at it. Look at it. And look, you can listen to all the newest episodes here. Look at that. Look, man, you can't beat that. You hit play, and you can go ahead and follow me on that website. Look, primetimemediala.com/the Isaac Hayes Show is up here, guys. That's all you have to do. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful website. You just need to go check it out. Also, subscribe to it. It is amazing. With that being said, that will wrap up this show. Louisiana, let's do better, guys. We want to be like Texas. We want to be like Arkansas. We want to be like Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama. The whole South's doing good. Why is Louisiana stuck in a rut? We put in the people. We overwhelmingly voted for Republicans the last election. Let them do their job. Let them change our state for the better. Again, with that being said, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be encouraged. We'll see you next time here on the show. Please like, please subscribe, please tell your friends. It helps out more than you know. We'll see you next time here on the show.